Who am I? My name's Genya. More commonly referred to as G or G Unit. Depends who's talking to me. I am the club leader of route setting here at West End, which means I oversee the climbing that's on offer across West End, which is both rope and boulder, and the implementation of that vision to ensure that we're hitting our climbing goals.
How did you get into route setting?
It was the classic, I asked the head route setter at the time, ahead of climbing, like, hey, can I get into route setting? And he was like, yes. I think that's the very short version of it. There was like some discussions around, you know, you have to work hard. You've got to like really want it. And I just threw myself into it, to be honest. I was terrible. I was so bad, and I don't know why they kept me going, because I was really bad. And then something just kind of clicked, and it happened.
Look at you now.
I say it's different, but somewhat similar to what it is now. When I started, wanted to just build up my movement library.
Yeah.
It's like understanding how to set certain moves, like the depth that's required, and then how you do that across all grades. It's like, I'm going to set a rock over. How does that feel different to a purple climber, to a black climber?
Yeah.
So understanding and building that movement library. And just trying and failing like so much and being okay with that. So part of it's like learning to set movement, but also the emotional side of route setting, of being okay to let go of something, not get too emotionally invested in it, and developing that too, because I think that's also really important. Like, it's okay to want to like push for something, but at the end of the day, it's going to get stripped in a couple of weeks' time.
Exactly.
Like, be okay with something not being perfect or not going well. And now it's more about exploring like feeling and intention and really focusing on what the climber's going to get and what the climber's going to feel when they're on the wall, and like really trying to create something for the climber rather than building up. I've already got the movement library. It's like, who is this for and what do I want them to feel, and then how do I make them feel that? That's such a good question. It's a mixed bag. We don't do it with every boulder. There's some boulders like, yes, we want this feeling because it's missing in the circuit. Sometimes I want the setters to have like a bit of creative freedom to express what they want. Did a recent set where I used my Tasmanian adventure trip as inspiration and used certain anecdotes from that trip for people to create, and that's what some of our current Graceland set is. Could be from some climbing trips we've been to and like the feelings of some of the boulders we climbed, not like exact replicas, but you know, the feeling of being on your feet or holding certain things, like bringing that into the set. It is nice to have some themes, but trying to like flow that throughout the gym and not just like in one section. It really depends. It also depends on the season. So for summer, because we're in a subtropical climate and we don't have air conditioning, throwing that in there.
Cut it out.
We have to be really mindful of what resources go on the wall. It's like, I love the slopey arete feeling that you get in Fontainebleau. It's like, we can't create that in summer because people are just going to slip and slide all over the place. The resources we put on the wall also kind of dictate the feeling that we're trying to create. It's like in summer, things are maybe a bit crimpier, a bit thinner, not so slopey, not so delicate because the resources don't last as long. So we try and keep that in mind too.
Good.
You can find inspiration from anywhere. We've used music, we've used AFL, we've used like climbing trips we've been on, that's a fairly common one. We've used board games. I know Lav did a D&D theme set one day. We use storytelling as a theme as well, especially in the ropes. Yeah, you can honestly pull inspiration from anywhere. And the fun thing is, watching people create something from that
Yeah.
is like what maybe you create from that creative brief or constraint is completely different to maybe what someone else. Like a really good example is the orange on Graceland from last week. The brief was sassy possum. There's a sassy possum in our Tasmanian trip. And Dan had an anecdote of his own that included a sassy possum when he was in Tasmania and managed to create a boulder from that. And it was like, yeah, it was really cool.
Any booze in before we actually start some?
There's quite a bit of, like you saw today, like background planning and reviewing that we do. A brief or a theme for the set is usually on the day. Sometimes we do it beforehand if people want time to think of something, but what we did today and have done previously is we've mapped out where a lot of the boulders are going to take up a lot of space, so anything dynamic or coordinated, where they're going to go in the gym and what colour they are, try and do one for every colour or two for every colour. And then the feature slabs that we want, we try and do them for every colour across the gym, and we map those out. It's very scientific, it's just on a whiteboard with some coloured stickers.
Although it may seem that way.
It's like you look at it and you're like, yeah, we spent hours on this and it's just like stickers on a whiteboard. And then like can show the team, but also want them to come in with like fresh brain, fresh ideas. If there is a theme of like, yeah, we're going Tasmania today, or we're going jibs only. I think people like having the unknown as well, coming in and not knowing what's going up. But yeah, we do a lot of planning of where things are going and how we want the texture of the gym. So where we have moments of like a lot of boulders, so high density, and then moments of like big feature climbs where you can't set a lot through it. So you have this like hidden boulders like around the gym, so try and plan that out.
Yeah.
Not specifically exactly the movement and volumes and holds that you have to use, but yeah, trying to create movement throughout the gym and what that experience is for the person that's coming into the gym to like, wow, what is this? And then like having these moments of, oh wow, I didn't know that was there, like it's kind of hidden.
Yeah.
They get the experience of exploration too. That's what we're trying to plan.
Maybe explaining that a bit more.
So what we did today is we reviewed the whole Graceland set. So we've just finished Graceland, which for us is the start of the rotation. So the idea was to see a lot of the climbing that's on the wall with like holes that have been used, the grade, using the Graceland set almost as a screenshot of what the rest of the gym could be like. Yeah. So it's like, do the grades progress? Is there a variation in the climbing, in the holds that are used? The grade progression, not just within the colour, but between colours. So if you go from blue to red, there's a good, and the number of boulders as well to make sure like there's enough going on. So we reviewed that, noticed any trends. So for example, a lot of the orange boulders were like really technical and grip intensive. So, like that also kind of comes down to the orange holds we actually have available to us. So making sure there's that balance throughout the gym with orange is it's not just all the same. So that was one of the things we noticed. The hold longevity too, to make sure things are going to last for the whole rotation.
Yeah.
So we reviewed that. It's like, okay. Another thing we noticed is the left side of Graceland, all up to the end of the steep, is all quite medium to high density. And then you've got this section to the right that's just all kind of low density, whereas we want a bit more up and down with that, not just lots of boulders, not many boulders. Want a bit more pockets of like, yes.
More intentional.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
And so trying to plan out from there, like, okay, well, how do we create that in the rest of the gym?
Yeah.
And so another thing we noticed is like red seems a bit lackluster in the gym at the moment, so trying to make sure we're going to have moments of like cool, epic, but also really good climbing in red. Not just that they have to be like big and epic, but that the climbing's really good.
Yeah.
So trying to make sure there's room for that in the rest of the gym. Trying to make room for everything. So we used Graceland. And like, okay, well, what do we learn, and how do we use that for the rest of the gym? I think Graceland's a good spot to do it too because it's big enough. There's a lot of boulders. There's a lot of wall angles. Yeah, it's like, okay, what's going on here? How do we make sure either like what's going well, keep doing that, or what didn't go well, like learn from that. Oh man, there's the real vanilla version and which is I just put plastic on the wall.
Yes.
Which sounds really sad.
Now, if someone asks further, like, what does that mean?
Yeah. I guess it is like creating a climbing experience for people. That's it. Like what we believe climbing is and could be, and introducing people to that, I think is really special. So yeah, we create a climbing experience.
That's a lovely way to...
Rather than just putting plastic on a wall
Yeah.
with a drill.
That's what you're talking about. What does climbing mean to you?
Oh, I love this question. I've had it a lot recently. Is climbing for me is playful. Is I get to create climbing, which in itself is quite playful. But for me, climbing, the connection to climbing was reacquainting myself with playfulness that you had when you're a kid, and you like lose as you become an adult. And I found climbing, I was like, wow, this is just that joy, that playfulness that I had when I was a kid, and climbing trees and using your imagination and creating something out of nothing. And that's what I feel like climbing is for me. It's playfulness. It's playful.
It is.